Hi, hello, hello, hello. Today I'm doing something a little bit different than we've been doing the last few days. On Thursday this week, I'm going to be doing a live stream with the VS Code team. Actually, here, hold on, let me pull that up real quick. So, it's on Twitter. If I go over here, I should have had this ready. Um, yeah, so this Thursday I'm going to be hanging out with the cool folks at VS Code, and I'm going to be teaching some stuff that I like doing in VS Code, which ironically enough is Vim. So I thought I should probably prepare a handful of things, kind of find an order of operations that worked really well, and kind of like have an opinion about how we do Vim. I have lots of opinions about how people should teach Vim, how people should learn Vim, and kind of how we get all of that stuff wrong. So I don't think that we'll have a problem there, but I want to make sure that kind of you know, the I have good examples, I guess, of how we can do things better. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm just going to be building up kind of an order of operations of things that I think are valuable to learn in Vim. So that's going to be it. Um, Heads up, I'm on this new like anti-anxiety med, and it kind of makes me feel weird. So might be a little bit off today. Anyway, let's see what's up. Lazar, hey, how's it going? Started getting into Vim last week. What a coincidence. Okay, cool. Well, you'll have to tell me if this any of these things work for you and if they make sense. You're the perfect person to be here right now. So thanks for being here. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to show my screen and we will get into this. Again, hanging out with the VS Code crew on Thursday. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. When I started learning Vim, this was the cheat sheet that I learned off of. And I think that it's awesome. It is super complicated though. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Honestly, it hasn't. I keep learning stuff every time I look at it and kind of learning, get new understandings about what it is that they're trying to communicate with the different color coding and all that kind of stuff. But this was it because when I was learning Vim, there was this piece of advice that I got where you should be able to look down at your keyboard and understand what every key does. And I think that's really good. And so I kind of went through the alphabet, just kind of going through that. Actually, I have youtube.com. Actually, I don't know if this will work with that new search thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So if you go to my YouTube channel, there are, let's see, so videos, playlists. Okay, so there's a playlist that I have. Oh, these are all my personal playlists. Where is it? Vim Alphabet. There will be fewer on like my actual page. So if you check this out, this is kind of the approach that I took to learning Vim, which was to just go through every character, every letter, and make sense of it. Now, I think that that works kind of, but I think now I have a little bit more of a structured take on it. So let's get into that. So we have this cheat sheet. This is my favorite one. I think it's the best. Now, the way that I think that Vim should be learned now is by just using the editor that you have and then kind of thinking about things that are repeated tasks that are difficult to do and doing those and kind of figuring out if there's an easier way to do those in Vim. So one of my favorite things right off the bat is, or first of all, the Vim extension that I use is this one. I think it's the first one that pops up. It's by, I think it's maintained by the team. So, or the VS Code team. I'm not really sure, but this is the one I use. So everything that we talk about will be from the perspective of this plugin. one thing that you can do is in your preferences, if you're just getting started with Vim, is to do Vim for Vim insert mode. And there's an option right here. So start Vim in insert mode. And I find that this to be really helpful if you are using VS Code already and want to explore Vim. And let me show you what this does. So let's enable that. I might need to close this and then open a file again. So if I open this up, click in here. Now you'll notice that like when I clicked in here, I'm in a standard edit mode. And this is what you get anytime you have a regular editor. You start in this regular edit mode. And so this is really handy because it doesn't change anything by default. But as soon as I hit escape, which is Vim's command to get into normal mode, as soon as I hit escape, now I'm in this Vim kind of mode. But it doesn't start that way. So anytime I open up a new file, I click in, it's going to put me in insert mode so I can still select stuff, kind of do things the way that I'm used to doing things inside of VS Code. So that's a helpful tip. I'm not going to be using that today because, we're going to be doing everything in Vim. So just that is a good place to start. So that's right there. You just start in insert mode is the config for that. So let me close this. Let's see what we got here. Okay, that's my way of learning Vim. Oh, face. That's my way of learning Vim as well. Do some light learning, just enough to get me started, and then Google how to do a certain thing on the fly. Yeah, totally. I think that's the best way to do it. Honestly, it's interesting because I think that a lot of people, a lot of training resources for Vim that you'll find will, wrong button. A lot of training resources that you find for Vim will go from the perspective of like how to use Vim, the editor, not Vim motions. And I'll start your stuff with like, oh, hey, the home row is super awesome because you can like HJKL and use the home row to like move around and stuff. And that I don't find particularly useful. I think it's a bad way to start. There's not like a lot of motivation for why that's cool. So let's go into some cool things. Okay, so, and actually I'm going to make a notes file. Vim notes. Okay, so I think one of the things that I recommend most to people is visual selection. And the cool thing about visual selection is that you can start to learn Vim motions, but without the danger of doing something accidentally. So let me show you. So anytime you hit, oops, I think I have to open this file again to not get it to show in insert mode. Sorry, there are some little quirks. All right, so open up my Vim notes again. Okay, so the cool thing about visual selection is that it'll give you a chance to learn about Vim motions. So if I go here and I hit V, I'm in visual selection mode, and I can see that right here. So from here, I can just use my arrow keys and start making a selection like I would in some other selection mode. So this is kind of equivalent to like holding shift when you're making a selection. And then once I've made my selection, I can kind of make the change that I want to make. So I can hit D, which just deletes it and leaves me in normal mode, or I can make that selection again and hit S, which is substitute. So that is like delete and insert, which now I can type in something else, blocks. Visual mode, like shift use arrow keys. And then kind of the upgrade is going to be, what is it? So we have D, C, and S. Okay, so it's kind of actually, I think I have a keyboard keystroke pro. I think I have something like that. So I can show, have I not used this? Enable keystroke pro. Okay. That might get annoying, but we'll see. Let's move this. Let's move it to the bottom left corner. Maybe that's better. Appearance, general. Where do we move it to the corner? Body, general. Am I missing it? Display. Do we put it in display? Okay, top center. Okay, so we want it to be bottom left. Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Okay, so escape always puts us in normal mode. So I'm gonna do, so I have V, and then I can kind of select, do my visual selection, and then we can do D, which deletes, leaves us in our command mode, or I can do C, which is a delete and an insert, so it's like change. In this case, C and S do exactly the same thing. But that's where we're at. So we have that cool stuff. Now, so we can have this in visual mode, and that helps us kind of make these visual selections. But there's always this kind of like problem with, you know, visual selections where like if you start in the middle of a word, you can't like kind of move around and get like the whole word after the fact. So let's try something else. So Vim has these kind of motions when you're in different modes that allow you to work with word objects. So I can say V inside. Oh, shoot. You know what? This isn't showing those keystrokes. This is good. I'm working all this out before we do the thing on Thursday. Okay, so I think I have a setting here that's just the command keys. Style, transitions, key color, modifier keys. Interesting. Status bar. What am I doing here? There's got to be an option because they're not showing, right? Yeah, so it should be showing back and forward. It's not. Key color, aluminum, escape, accent color. Okay, well, maybe I'm gonna have to find, oh wait, display mode. Show keystrokes with modifiers only, show all keystrokes. There we go. Okay. Hey, B1 Mind, glad you're here. So down for this lesson. I enjoy the blend of the two personally. Yes, I do as well. I think Vim is such a great editor, especially with TypeScript being so everywhere right now. And it's like you don't have to set it up. And setting stuff up in Vim sucks. Let's see. I guess you're creating a course. So I'll just drop some things that I found confusing here in the chat. Might give you some ideas. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah, go for it. Okay, let's see. So, okay, so we're here and we want to actually, we're in the middle of this word and we want to change this entire word. So we can use Vim motions to select the entire word. So we can, the way that I would do it in this case is V, I, quotes, double quotes. And so what we did here is to select everything inside of these double quotes. From there, I can, again, do delete. I can do C to change, or S to substitute. Okay, so this is probably the thing that I use the absolute most anytime I'm using Vim. Now, the way that we made that selection, though, there is something that we should know. So let me find something with some class. Okay, so this is a good example right here. So if I do that same command, which is VI double quotes, well, that's going to make my selection everything inside of those double quotes, which is, fine, I guess. But it's not exactly selecting the word. Now, this is great if you want to just kind of like obliterate the whole thing and start over. I love this command. So yeah, V inside quotes, substitute, and then I'll like take everything out and let you start over. However, if we find ourselves in the middle of a word, we may want to select that whole word. We can just do I think it's W. Yeah, VIW. So it's visually select inside word. That'll get the whole word. And then we can do R, D, C, or S. Okay, so from here, it's kind of like VI, like, what is it? R, V, I quotes. And then what is it? V, I, W. Great. Now, what if we want to get this around, like we want to get some space around it? Well, we can do VI capital W. Oh, no, wait, that's not right. Oh, sorry, it's V. Sometimes I just use my fingers and I don't like think about it. So, so we can do VAW, which will do like around the word. Now, this is where different like editors will kind of like handle things differently. So in this case, because it's, these words, it's going to pull these, it's going to get just this space, which is actually really handy. Because you don't necessarily, when you're working with prose, you don't want to delete both spaces, but you do want to delete one of the spaces. So VIW, VI capital W, oh my gosh, VAW, oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. We'll get the word with the space. Now, something that kind of sucks is if we do V and then we do our selection like this, we just keep moving character by character. It'd be nice if we could work with word objects. Now, I know that if you're kind of a keyboard shortcut warrior outside of Vim, you can just use Option. So if I go into insert mode, I can use Option Shift to make those selections, and it'll do so by word. Well, we can do that in Vim too. We'll do V and then just hit word, and it'll actually make a selection to the next word. Okay, and we can do capital W and do that. Now, this is a little bit, what is it? This isn't always exactly what we want, because this actually takes us to the first character of the next word. So W always takes you to the first character of the next word. So we'll talk about W a little bit. What E does, though, is will take us to the end of the word. So we can go to the end of this word, we can go to the end of the next word, we can go to the end of the next word, and we're done. Now, this is really neat because you're kind of like, your intent is a little bit different. So like if I'm in insert mode, I'm making a selection, or if I'm using a mouse, I just kind of make my selection and like, okay, there we go. But I'm not really working in words per se. Actually, I'm curious if any of these modifiers will let me, yeah, it doesn't. So I'm not really working in words, I'm working in characters. One of the cool things about Vim is we can just work in words. So, and I don't want that stuff. I'm going to put something else in there. Super duper cool. Okay, so VAW. So we went around the word, inside the word. What would be kind of like the next? And if you have like questions, happy to answer those. If there's anything like kind of like along this line that you think is interesting. Okay, so from there, let's see what we're gonna do. Actually, I may flip these. I think that talking about words first and then going into kind of these would be helpful, I think. I think. Oh, pasting lines feels weird. I still can't predict where the line will be pasted before you hit P. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Like full lines. Okay, so let's grab some stuff. Okay, so we have this card here, and so we yank that with Y. Yank is copy, and then if you just hit P, it's gonna put it below the line that you're currently on. So in this case, it messes everything up. If you put capital P, that's gonna put it. That's gonna like, I guess, kind of do an insert above and then paste, but it's gonna paste it above the current line. So in this case, like if I'm here, I copy this and I want to paste it below, I'm gonna go to the line that has the end of, this closing brace. I'm gonna hit lowercase p, which is gonna put it below. Or if I want to put it above, I'm gonna go to the line that I want it above and hit uppercase P, and that'll put it above. Hopefully that answers your question. And a lot of times there's this kind of like parity, not always, but there's some parity between the lowercase and the uppercase versions. But yeah. Let's see. But recently I thought I'd relearn to type correctly because I thought my cowboy style typing is limiting my speed. Using Vim feels so much more intuitive now. Yeah, honestly, that is a huge piece of being effective with Vim, is actually being a pretty good typist. It really does maybe not demand, but it rewards you for being a really good typist. Okay. Where are we now? Okay, so we talked about, so yeah, hopefully that P thing helps. Yeah. Okay, so where are we now? We talked about that a little bit. Okay, so now what if I want to change not just what's inside? Okay, so that A kind of applies, right, everywhere. So we do VI quotes, but we can also do V around quotes. So this is V inside quotes, VA quotes is V around quotes. So here we can do that, delete everything. And then if we want to change this to some kind of, React thing where this is now some variable, now we can do that. This is like from quotes to in React. So that's a pretty good example of why you would do that. Now, I'm not sure if it's too big of a jump, but something that I find super valuable, and like maybe this is worth talking about just because people have actually asked me how I do this in videos like pretty frequently, is how to change this outside, right? So this, if I want to change these to a template literal string, I can do change surrounding quotes with backticks. Now this is actually not standard Vim. Wait, let me make sure I did this. Yank. Shoot, now I lost what it was. Change surrounding quotes back. Did I do that? Change surrounding quotes, backtick. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's actually not too bad. Okay, so yeah, so this is something that I actually do quite a bit. It's not as effective in this case because if I want to change the surrounding quotes, I'm gonna have to do it like this, and then I guess change. Let's see. I'm actually not sure how to do it with two characters. But yeah, so. What's up, Skillful Work? Good to see you. Glad you're here again. Talking about Vim today. Glad you're here. Yeah, so that is one thing that I'm not totally sure how to do. You know what? Maybe we can Google that. Google. Let's see. So let's do Vim change quotes to characters. Wonder if there's a way to do that. So while in normal mode with the cursor on top of the first character to swap, you can type X. Okay, no, that's not what I want. How to replace more than one character without. No, that's not what I want either. Change surrounding double quotes with. Yeah, okay. So it looks like that's all we can do with this one, which isn't super helpful. I'd like to have an answer for that. So maybe this is something that I kind of research more into. Like if I wanted that to be that. Oops. Like that. Like in JSX, how can I do both of those characters at the same time? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Yanks around 2-word. Okay, cool. It's so funny, like finding some kind of like cogent direction for all this is ChatGPT it. That's actually a really good call. Let's try it. Chat.openai.com. Oh, your session has expired. Log in. Oh, shoot. Now you know my email address. Oh, come on. Now you know my email address again. Dang it. Okay, let's see. So if so I want to change the surrounding a surrounding character in Vim with two characters. How do I do that? Here's an example. I'd like this. Like, let's see. Here's an example. Hello world should become hello world. Okay, change the surrounding characters in Vim with two different characters. You can use Vim Surround plugin. Okay, well, this is part of that. And actually, I should probably mention this, is that this is kind of Vim Surround. It's not really part of Vim. Okay, so once you have a plugin installed, you're going to do the following. Move your cursor inside of the double quotes. Hello, enter visual mode by pressing V. Select the text inside of the double quotes by doing I quotes. Yep, in and code for quotes. To change the surrounding characters, hit S. Okay, so that's what we've done so far. Now type the characters you want to use with the new surrounding with the space between them. In your case, it would be so press that character and then that character. The text should now be surrounded by the new characters like this. The sequence of commands is V, I quote, capital S, interesting. Okay, let's try that. V, I quote, capital S, left angle, or left, okay. No, that's not right. I think it's making crap up, but I always think that. Yeah, no, I think it is kind of making crap up because like these instructions are not even consistent. Oh, let's see. So okay, so yes, I think I tried that, but maybe not. Okay, so was it so change surrounding quotes with that, and then yank surrounding inside this with that. Oh, okay, cool. Yes, that does work. We do get extra spaces, and I wonder why. Maybe just be like a VS Code thing, putting those spaces in there. It is interesting. I do wish that there was a single command that we could do that with, but yes, this will work. So what is it? Change surround like that, and then yank surround inner this. Let's see. Yeah, and so it seems like maybe there's a good example for like yank surround word. Because kind of this yank surround kind of comes out of nowhere, which is a little bit confusing. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Try Y. Okay. Oop, wrong one. Try YSA. Okay. See if that removes the spaces. Okay, let's see. But I think you said, oh no, that would be outside. So yank surround. Oh wait, yank. Oh, shoot, yank surround A colon. Oh my gosh. What do I do? Okay. Yank surround A. Curly braces. Oh no, wait. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no. Yank. Yeah. Okay. That's breaking my brain. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to that because that is, if I can't really conceptualize it very easily, then it's probably gonna be way too far for a kind of beginner stream on this stuff. So let's move on. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I think that once we've covered how to do this stuff in visual mode, I think probably the next like chapter of this is how to like like skip visual mode. And so like the motivation for this is like, I guess, fewer key presses. And then it's actually kind of honestly removes a step from what you would do with mouse. Okay, so I guess that would get us to a point of like, what are some examples of things that we should do with that? So we could do change inside quotes, which would allow us to kind of like change the whole thing. Some cool things here would be like change to period. So that'll get us like change to a certain character. So if I'm, here and I want to change everything through to the end, so change till dot is great. We can do change from, nope. Oh my gosh, what happened? Okay, and then talk about the kind of inverse of this would be change till double quotes. So if we want to go forward, we're going to do that. So change till dot or change till quotes. If we want to go backwards, we want to do everything from here. It'll be change capital T to that line. So this we can kind of talk about like the different effects of the capital T and the lowercase t, which I think would be helpful in this case. Oh my gosh, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. So frustrating. Yeah, dude, CT all the time. All the time I'm doing CT. Yeah, CT or like CI quotes is a big one. But yeah, CT is great. Oftentimes it's like, oh, I don't like that, especially when I'm editing prose. It's like, oh, I don't like the end of the sentence. You can just like go to the end of the sentence and like, you're good. Or like, I don't like maybe there's a parenthetical there and you're like, I don't like the way that I did that parenthetical. So I'm going to just like delete that and, start over. I guess from there, it might be useful to talk about find. I'm not really sure though, because like change find dot or change cf dot is going to like include that. So if we do vf dot, you can see that it actually includes that, where that period or the character that we're searching for, versus if we do vt dot, it doesn't. So maybe we also need to cover T and F here. Maybe? I don't know. Not totally sure. Yeah, so capital T goes backwards. So yeah, so that's going to be the case with, and you can use these on their own too. So if I do T dot, it's going to move my cursor until that dot. And then if I do capital T L, I guess it's going to move me up like until the L. So I usually think of it as till. Is the way that I think about it. I don't know what the proper language is for it, but till. So like, I am here and I want to visually select till the period. And so it's going to select everything until the period. And then if I want to visually select and find the period, that's the way that I do it, it will find the period there. And then obviously the modifier of visually select capital T double quotes will go back till the double quotes, and visually select, oh my gosh, capital F L will select and find the preceding capital L. I think, I don't know. I think it's find. Let's go back to our cheat sheet. Nope, that's my email. Cheat sheet. So yeah, so I think they use find here. So it's find character or back find character is the way to conceptualize that. And this works, again. So if we do F dot, it's going to go forward to the dot. So yeah, we can use this directly, not just in conjunction with these. So maybe these would be worth covering kind of before we get to that. Okay, cool. So I think that is pretty good. Oh, I think that something that we probably want to cover is change inside tag. Yes. And see around tag. Yes. Yeah, this is super helpful. Yes, for us HTML fanboys, yes, 100%. Love the HTML. So yes, so yeah, so I think tag is probably a good one. So yeah, change inside tag, just that strong tag. Change inside tag, just that code tag. Change inside tag, which gets us there. We can also do change around tag, which would delete everything that whole entire p tag and allow us to start over. So this will be yeah, I think I did that one. And then obviously it has that D variant as well. So D and C. I think one thing that I may not even cover S, because I think that having S in here is a little bit confusing because S is substitute, which is really more of a, like when you have a visual selection type of thing, and it doesn't carry over to these, because there's not like does it? S, yeah, no, because that command is going to run right away under your selection. So if we're going to, substitute G with H, I guess, and kind of be in insert mode, that's fine. We can also make a visual selection and substitute, but there's not like a substitute inside whatever. So I think that it probably doesn't make sense to introduce substitute yet, especially with S being kind of like surround in this case. So we'll stick away from substitute in the beginning. Sorry, I love that you're like in it right now. Yeah, and I think this is like to my point of I think it's more fun to teach Vim from this perspective of what can I do with code than this is how you move around, because these are things that we do all the time, right? Like making that selection and then deleting it. It's things that we're always grabbing the mouse for, and it's so easy to just like delete around the thing. Okay, cool. Okay, so we can skip visual mode, and I think that honestly, I'm gonna stick with D at C, and then just kind of mention that you can do the same with D. The reason being is that I think that changing is often the most important. You're going in here to change something. So ending up in insert mode is ideal. Yeah. Okay, so we'll skip D for that part. Okay, and then I think that that's kind of I feel like that feels pretty good for that stuff, like for the stuff that we're covering. So like for the stuff that we've covered so far, that feels like a pretty good roadmap. But there are a couple of other things, and so I want to look at this keyboard and see what some of the other valuable, like high value things are going to be. Okay, so let's just go through these actually, and then you can kind of tell me what you think is like the some of the coolest stuff. Um, so something that I end up doing a lot is going to the beginning and end of things. So if I'm in the middle of a word, I want to get to the beginning. There's what is it? Zero will take us there. Dollar sign will take us to the end. So $0, $0, $. Those are navigation things, so maybe some navigation things would be helpful. Let's see. So 0 and $. But then also, I wonder if it'd be more helpful, like insert mode, jumping to insert mode at the beginning of a line can be helpful sometimes as well. O and capital O kind of reinforce some of that P stuff. So O is going to start a new line below with the indentation if it recognizes the language, and then capital O will start a line above. Actually, I think that that's probably a pretty valuable thing. I do that all the time. So it's really nice if you're like, oh, I need to insert a new tag, O, off to the races. Capital O, same thing. Yeah, I like that one a lot. One thing that's actually helpful with variables, I find, and this is sometimes kind of an anti-pattern, but I do find it helpful sometimes you can jump to occurrences of a word using star and what is it? What's the inverse of star? Next ident. Where's the previous ident? Oh, pound. So if we have card, we can do star to jump around to other card words. And then we can do pound to go backwards. Let's see. So I find caret more handy than 0 because it's the true start character. Oh, right. Okay, so where would that come into play? So, shoot. Oh, right. Okay, cool. Yes. And actually, this is funny because if you ever watch me stream, I do this all the time where I go to 0 and then word in, which is not right. That's an anti-pattern. And yes, I agree with you. The what is it? Caret or the caret character is something that I need to get into my muscle memory because it's super duper handy. So yeah, I'm gonna let's see. So we'll do. That was a really gross sound, so sorry for that. Yes, I agree with you. I need to get that in my muscle memory. That's great. And then percent is really handy too. Go to match. So that's going to be, let's see, how do I get that to proc? So why isn't it working? That should go to the matching character, right? Let's see. Percent, go to match. Can't seem to get it to work. Maybe I'm not doing it right. Let's see. Yeah, it should match symbol. Might be having issues in Astro. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's see. Uh, let me open up a markdown file. So first MD, are there any matches here? Yeah, okay. Interesting. Not working. That is odd. Interesting. I'm not sure why that is. Okay, so it works in this unmarked file. Oh, I guess it's noting that it's marked down. So it doesn't like YAML. It doesn't like Astro. Let's see if I have an HTML file in here. So this is actually a really good example. So in choosing a project, I probably want to make sure that there's some like, you know, JavaScript, TypeScript, CSS, HTML, like standard stuff. Astro is not really working for us in this case. So let's open up a JSON file. So we should be able to jump back and forth. Yeah, we do in this JSON file, jump back and forth. Actually, wait, I was on that character. Jump to the square brackets anyway. Let's see, do we have a TS file? We have a TS config file. So if we go to this, we can jump back there. Yep, jump to that surrounding pair. Cool. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, it's super odd. Yeah, so it works in the standard languages, just not some of these newfangled ones, which kind of makes sense. Sometimes these things are a little bit buggy, you know, when they don't have all that much testing around them. Okay. Let's see. So next indent, sentence, end sentence. So this is actually something that's interesting in code. Maybe this one's a better one. So I actually really like this because a lot of times, you know, I'm navigating to the next, you know, maybe there's a big block of code. And, you know, so this would be really handy with big blocks of code. That and that for, so those are really handy for stepping through big blocks of code. And then parentheses kind of goes to, it's called sentences, but it'll actually go to the first line, which can be kind of nice as well. It'll include the first line, which is really nice as well. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so we have we did a lot of that stuff. I do need to cover undo pretty early, actually. Because I use that. Because we use it all the time. Okay. Let's see, we probably need to cover the insert modes, but maybe not. Join is a fun one, actually. And then, okay. So maybe we should cover, okay, so we're talking about navigation, which is actually good. So let's talk a little bit more about navigation. If I have a file like this, yeah, this is good. Let's see. So G takes us to the bottom of a file. oops. Or capital G takes us to the bottom file. Double G's takes us to the top of a file. We can go to 10G, which takes us to a certain line. So number G takes us to a certain line. And then this one's kind of cool, which is GF, which actually takes us to the file under the cursor, which is really neat. So that'll open up the file under the cursor. It works pretty well. So GF, GG takes us to the top of that file. Yeah. And then something that could be helpful here is, ZZ is save and close. But like here, so if I hit close, it's going to ask me for a prompt. Like, do I want to save or do I not want to save? And, that is fine. So quitting. So hit window on that. That's fine. But if I know that I want to save without closing, I can just do ZQ and it avoids that prompt entirely. If I want to save, I can hit ZZ and it'll close and save, which is really handy as well. Super cool. Now, Z and G. So here I should probably talk about like how Z and G are insanely overpacked, like are overloaded. These are like G and Z are like the junk drawer of Vim. Anything that didn't fit on the keyboard kind of has some like equivalent inside of Vim or inside of G or Z. So they're like pretty wild. But I think that those ones are particularly handy. Let's see. And then better than jumping into command mode, because command mode is really cool, but it's pretty something. Oh, interesting. I don't think I knew about :0 and $$ actually. :0. Wait, colon. Did I do that right? :0, $$ Actually, oh, and you have to enter, right? Oh, yeah, because they're commands. Right, yes. :0, enter, $, enter. Yes. And then, but you could also do numbers too, right? So if I wanted to go to 79, yes. Yeah, I find them easier. Less characters for sure. So yeah, but it is kind of like invisible, right? Whereas this, you have an opportunity to edit it, I guess. So 79, or 68. Oh, actually, I wanted 67, type of thing. But yeah, I find this to be a little bit easier, despite its being invisible, because you don't have to confirm it, which is nice. Cool. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So we covered saves. So ZQ, save without, or close without saving, save. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this I use actually less than I used to, but it is still helpful in Markdown actually, which is the indenting, indenting and undenting. So I don't actually know what this would fit into, but let's call it miscellaneous right now. So undenting and indenting, those are really handy, probably less useful without kind of with auto format, except for in this markdown scenario. So most useful in markdown, if not using prettier. But yeah, in like markdown, insanely useful. Use that all the time in markdown. And then sometimes, I manually move stuff, even though I don't need to. So yeah. Oh, whoops! Still got your last one up there. GGI to start importing packages. Oh yeah, yes, yeah. So you could, yep, totally. So you're like, oh hey, I need some. I mean, in this case, it's I'd have to do GGO because I'm doing the markdown file with front matter. But yeah, I could do import. I don't know. What do I have that starts with A? I don't even know. Wait, let's delete card. Import card. Yeah. Cool. Let's see what else we got. So we covered fine. We actually covered a lot of ground, honestly. I guess some of the other things that I think are interesting. Was what is it? It's not that one. Shoot, is it bracket? Nope. Shoot, I can't remember which one it is. There's one that allows you to go to the next line, but at the beginning, like at the first character. I actually just picked this up the other day, and now it's left me. So it's not bracket. It's not. Let me know if you know it. It's not curly braces. Parens? No. Capital I. Oh no, it would like follow down the line, which was kind of interesting. It's all right. I'll come back to it. Yeah, so it would like go here, 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 here. Like it would just go to the next, which was actually really nice, and something that I thought pretty useful. Control V. Let's see. So yeah, so Control V would go to. Oh, Control V does the vertical select, or like visual block. Yeah, that isn't interesting. So like other modes would actually be kind of interesting to cover. Other modes. So that'll be, Control V. So visual block. There's replace mode. So if you do like a capital R, this will replace over what's there, which is a really kind of funny mode. But there are places where it works really well. It works really well in like ASCII art charts, and then also like changing certain CSS properties, values like colors. I use it a lot there. Where you like it's a fixed number of characters, and you want to make sure that you type in all the characters, is a really handy thing to do. Oh, art a redo, yes. So undo. Oop. Yes, control art a redo. Yep, and actually that reminded me real quick of something else. undo, redo. You know, something I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, like if it's too nutty, but really like, what is it? So miscellaneous. So like Control I and Control O. These go to the last, like your last insert points. So like, let's say that I had an insert point here. I could go back. Oh no, wait. Oh my gosh. Maybe not. Maybe I have to actually type something. I can't remember exactly. Oh, Control D. O for page up and down. Yes. Yes. So page up and down, that is super helpful. So I guess this would go in navigation. D U. So yeah. Oh. So yeah. So Control D is going to be how you page down. Control U is how you page up. There's some cool things too with, let's say that I want to move, let's see, let me go down a little bit. So here I want to move this to the top, so we can do ZT, which will move that to the top. And then ZB will move it to the bottom. And then ZZ puts it on the center. ZZ is actually like a really, like lowercase zz is a really handy command that I don't use enough, honestly, to just kind of get it away from the edges of something. So if I'm all the way down here, that's not like a fun place to edit. So I can just do ZZ to bring that back into the middle. I think those are helpful. So ZZ, ZT, and ZB. Consequently, you can move your mouse too. So if you do, I think, what is it? Capital H, yeah. Yes. So high, medium, and low is how I remember it. Yeah. So H will put you up at the top of your file. M will put your cursor at the middle of the file, and then L will take you to the bottom. It's interesting because it looks like it's off by 1. And so I'm curious if that's just, yeah, again. Okay, so thing that I've learned, oh yeah. Okay, if it kind of depends on what line is in view. Like if it's just a little bit there, it'll go to the second line, which is interesting. So those are really handy things as well. Brains floppy. Well, hey, thanks for being here, and thanks for so many good ideas. This is super helpful. Thank you. Man, I'm really curious now, like what that other thing was. I was playing with it last night and it was awesome. Okay, so this is Control F and Control B are also used to page up and down. So interesting. Do they go by the same amount? Interesting. Okay, so it looks like they don't. So if I do Control F, it takes me down to the bottom of that UL, which is at the bottom of the page. If I do Control D, oh, it goes by half pages. Interesting. So I actually didn't know that. I learn something new every time, which is super cool. Oh, yeah. Yes. Shift H. Yeah, so you wouldn't have that. Yep. I just use, what is it? I think I use the standard one, which is control backslash, or yeah, control tilde. Yeah, control tilde allows me to kind of open and close that, which is nice. If you want to free up the capital H. Let's see. You know what? Actually, I realize searching is probably important. Yeah, that's super important. Okay, so searching is kind of another mode. Search, so that would be /, and then we go back and forth with N and P, so next and previous, which is cool. And then we can do a reverse search with, I think it's star, is it? Okay, so we have / is find, and then maybe it's, oh yeah, it's question mark. Good Lord, where's the question mark in my, oh, I can't see it because, yeah. Okay, yeah. So we have find and question mark. So question mark will look in reverse. So if we're down here, we want to look in reverse. We do main and then next. And so it'll do next. It kind of reverses the order. So next is going to be going backwards, and forward, and P. Oops. Main. Oh, interesting. Oh, it's not P. It's It's Shift N. Oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Duh. Oh yeah. So we could get into searching. That is pretty wild. I don't know. I mean, maybe like as a go-to, like as a kind of like next steps, we could do something like that. So yeah. So let's do what you were doing. So S, and we're gonna change card with I don't know, shard. That's all I can think of. Yes. Oh, how do we do that? I actually don't do a lot of that anymore, because that's something that I use VS Code for quite a bit. So what would that be? So if we want to change main with whatever, pattern not found. Oh, I have to substitute, right? Man, I don't do any of this anymore. So card, whatever. Yeah. So clearly I'm not going to be good at teaching that kind of stuff. What is it? %s? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Replace. So %s x y g, replace x by y file wide. So %s card, whatever. Oh, that's actually a really nice implementation though. G. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, cool. I'm sold. Let's see. So shoot, what was that? Colon command S some term and then replacement term, and then G. And then if I remember correctly, again, I don't do this often, but if we do just :s card, it's just going to grab the next one, right? Okay, no pattern found. Okay, so this is going to do all of them. Card, whatever. And then there's the G part of it. Oh, and the G does it multiple times on a line. And then the I part makes it case indifferent, I think. So I thought maybe there was a card down here, but it doesn't look like there is one. Okay, so G does it there. Okay, yeah. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. What else can we do? What else can we do? I guess, yeah, so other insert modes would be the, did I already talk about this? Yeah, and then kind of I, capital O, kind of what those do, capital A, all those, super helpful. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. %s is the file. Yeah, I just couldn't, for some reason. I thought that like if you did command, like if we did command S like that, and we did card, it would at least get the first one of those. Oh, it did. I'm not sure what I did wrong there. Okay, cool. So it did do exactly that. So it just does the one. And so if we do, what is it, colon? I must have typed something wrong. So we do card, does that. It's going to change it to whatever. And then if we hit, and then we do G is going to do as many times as it appears on that line. And then I will be case independent. Okay, cool. So yeah. So we can kind of talk about some of those options. Or let me paste that, copy that, take that out, and then yeah, cool. That is good. Awesome, Lazar. You've learned a lot in the time that you've been in the short time that you've been working with Vim. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh, it was plus. That's what it was. Okay, plus. Yes, plus is the one that goes to the next line with the indentation, which is really cool. And then minus is the opposite of that. So yeah, super cool. Plus and minus. So next line with at first character. Previous line with first character. Okay, cool. CIT is great for changing both tags too, by the way. Let's see, CST. Ooh, I can't get CST to work though. CST. Oh yeah. That's right. Okay, cool. Yep. Yeah, this is an area where I think I end up doing VS Code for this because I have a plugin that does that. But you're right. So yeah, CST. Angle bracket. Whatever. Now the cool thing about the VS Code plugin though is like if I do ahref, it will do all that for me. And so like that's an area where I actually prefer the VS Code implementation. I'm trying to remember what it is. Let's see. So let's see, installed, what do I have? Yes, then auto rename tag. Is that different than the one that you're using, B1Mind? Rename symbol. Yeah. So that's actually maybe something worth noting. So like things that VS Code are just better at, or kind of like plugins are better for, baked in, I think, with F5 by default. Interesting. Okay. So if I, let's see, F5. Ooh. F4. I don't know if that did anything. Interesting. That's so funny. Interesting. Yeah, I remember having wanted to have it to enable it, and I thought maybe there was a plugin for it, or maybe there was an option for it. I couldn't find it, and so I ended up using that plugin. But if I don't need it, that would be great. Oh, hey, what's up? I'm switching to Twitch. Nice. I right now I'm just kind of playing with both, so I don't know what the what the meta is. We'll see. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I keep feeling like there's one more thing. Okay, F2. Okay, let's try that. Okay. So, but if I do so I can't do this though. Oh, yeah, no, it's gonna put it at the beginning and the end. So yeah. Let's see. So we can use that tags plugin. Versus, what was it, CST, like that. But yes. Yeah. Change surrounding tag. Oh, what did I do? Actually, let's see. Change surrounding tag. It'll be a. Oh my gosh. A href equals yo. Does that work? No, it doesn't. So, yeah, it's honestly, for me, it's going to be the tag plugin. All right, href equals, yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. What else? What else was there? Is there anything else? Anything else? I don't necessarily want to get into windowing. That's kind of a mess, but you can also like navigate. Navigate. So I do Control W and then use your kind of navigation letters. So H will go left, L will go right, L will go right again. So Control W prefixing those will kind of allow you to move around these, which is really cool. Close that. Yeah. You can also control your tabs. So GT is going to move forward. G capital T is going to move back. I don't know if that's easier than Command Shift. What is it? Command Shift brackets. I think that's probably easier. So maybe that's kind of a navigation preferring brackets to Vim's way. Yeah. And then, I mean, I guess that's kind of, I mean, that's a lot. I feel like, we're only going to be doing this for like maybe 30 minutes tomorrow. So I think probably the best thing is like having like gone through some of these examples and making sure that I know kind of like what we need certain things for. So yeah, I think that's probably it. If you guys have any other things that you thought you would be fun to cover, let me know. Otherwise, we'll kind of wrap this up. Been doing it for about an hour and a half, so that's probably pretty good. Um, let's see. I'm just gonna think of a couple more. Join is actually pretty cool. I feel like I do use it quite a bit. I'm not quite sure what a good example would be. Um, but yeah, so like if I want to collapse those, it's interesting because it's really more of a formatting thing. And so I use it less now that I use Prettier. Um, but joining is kind of neat. But it's neat. It's not critical, I guess. It is easier. Let's see. Is there anything else to configuring that extension besides installing it? I don't think so. Auto tag name. Uh, yeah, named pairs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just found that this one worked really well. There is a configuration auto name tag activation on language. So I guess you can configure the language, but yeah, I have not had to configure it, and it's awesome. Love it. Oh, the Vim one. Yes. So let's see. Um, the Vim one. Okay, so let's see. Actually, wait. So if we go to the Vim plugin, let's see. I don't know if I have configured this, but let's see what we got there. So there was the configuration. So enable key repeating. Oh, so that might be nice. I don't end up using key repeating a lot. But it looks like you can change the press and hold value. Looks like there are a handful of options. I don't think I've done any of them. Oh, it looks like you can map your escape key. You can do like a leader key. I honestly don't do a lot of Vim configuration because part of the value for me, and this is probably it, let's see, Vim notes. I think part of the like the story part of it for me is that I doing face cam. So the reason that I chose Vim was because when I first started coding, I was using this text editor called TextMate, and it was super cool and I loved it. But all of my muscle memory was around editing code was in TextMate. And as soon as TextMate kind of gave up the ghost and Sublime Text 2 was on the scene, a lot of my knowledge was not transferable. And Sublime Text 2 did a really good job of like being, making a mode, I think, where you could kind of migrate from TextMate and use some of your same key bindings. But it also just felt like you were kind of like second class citizen because it mixed up some of the other key bindings. And then when you read a tutorial, it would say like, oh, do this. And that didn't work because you had different key bindings. And so the goal for me learning Vim was that it seemed like everything had some kind of Vim emulator. Every editor had some kind of Vim emulator. And that was like this really transferable skill that I could take kind of independent of editor. I could just use Vim inside of that editor, still use all of the kind of take advantage of all of the native keystrokes and whatnot. And so when I use Vim pretty much as stockly as possible because I like being able to use those commands everywhere. Which is great because I can use them in editors. Like a lot of online editors will have like kind of like a Vim mode. So like Code Sandbox has a Vim mode. StackBlitz doesn't yet, which is kind of frustrating for me and probably the only reason that I'm not using StackBlitz all the time. But they'll have some kind of Vim mode in them, which is great because and it's great for people who just use stock Vim because you can just take advantage of it because a lot of those places don't allow you to kind of add configuration of your own. So that's kind of a, I don't know, call out for stock Vim, I guess. Let's see. Okay, them one. So, let's see. Do you need to spend some time on them? Could you clarify that one for me real quick? Um, yeah. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that you're here. You made this a lot of fun, and I learned a couple new things today as well, which is great. Um, but yeah, I think the using sticking a stock to Vim as possible is great because part of the value of Vim in general is that it's on a lot of machines. Like even if you like kind of like terminal into or shell into something, a lot of machines already have Vim on it, and so you can navigate files like just on a file system with no GUI, which is awesome. But then all the way to like web provided user interfaces for editing code, like really cool stuff. So I really love that it just kind of transcends the gamut. You don't have to have like configuration to use it as long as Vim is provided. So anyway, that's right. Let's see. If you had more on this question, let me know, Lazar. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I think we're probably good for today. We did a whole hour and a half. Again, let's see if I can find it. Do I still have it open? No, I don't. But anyway, I'm hanging out on Thursday with the VS Code folks, and it'll be a fun little stream. So anyway, thanks for being here. If you're not already in the Lunch Dev Discord, you can join us. Some really great people in there. Love them to death. And yeah, that's discord.gg/lunchdev. You can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/@chantastic. That's it. See you later. Bye.